gotta make it, man. I gotta make it. I wanna wake up in the morning in Barbados, in Bahamas, somewhere far away from everybody. You feel me? Yeah.
So yeah, I'm hoping that the artists, independent artists who are out there and are really just trying to share their art in a way that they can be recognized for, and with original music, and believe in their original music. This will be the place for them. I'm grateful that we can experiment in this right now. Absolutely.
Welcome to Ask a Bitcoiner 21 Questions. I'm Saida Gomez, and today we have Man Like Kweks in the house going to answer 21 questions. How are you today?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
It is my pleasure. Before we start, can you introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure, my pleasure. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and Zap Stream. Let's go. Let's go. I'm Man Like Kweks, based in Tanzania, East Africa. Yeah, Bitcoiner for a few years now, and just really enjoy music, and lately just wanted to just explore about Bitcoin education through music. So a lot of the music that I make is Bitcoin themed, things I've learned about, or companies or projects I've been involved in or influenced me. Usually, work with people and make songs with them. Just curious about Bitcoin and NOSTR. Definitely a big fan of NOSTR as well.
Yeah, and I'm a big fan of your music as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet a fan.
And so's my daughter, big time.
Awesome. So what's the favorite song?
Bitcoin Data, obviously. Dun, 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 dun. And she's because French is her first language, so
Okay.
she tries to follow along and sing, but she's got where my Bitcoin data is at. She's got that like
That
down.
lot. Okay, great, great. Wonderful, wonderful.
So we will begin. I'll just go over the rules before we start. The goal is to answer 21 questions in 10 minutes. One person has done it so far. So there's no stress, no whatever if it's not done. I actually prefer when we go over because then the conversation gets a little bit more interesting.
Should like reward someone for the sats if they do it under 10 minutes or something.
I should start doing that. That's a good pitch. And that's very slick. 100,000 sats if you do it in 10 minutes.
What, guys? No way.
Uh, I'm just going to take a sip of water.
Balling out of control. Okay. 100,000.
100,000 sats. I said it. Okay. So you saw the questions beforehand. I will ask you the questions in random order, and I swapped out one question for a surprise question.
Perfect. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Mhm.
I've got the timer set to 10 minutes. I'll read the first question and then I'll hit the timer. Mimi. Let's see. First question.
Okay.
Who would you most like to collaborate with?
Ooh, that's a cool question. Andre 3000 from
Oh,
Outkast.
that would be sick.
Like
That
guy's,
would be.
I don't know what much I'll just be in awe, but yeah, he just really inspires me, man. He's really one of the top favorite people. So him on Nas, like, and I'm done. I'll be done after that. 100%.
Next question. This is a long one. So, considering the Diddy indictment, where it's mentioned that he used promises of career opportunities, excuse me, and threatened to withhold financial support to control his victims, how could peer-to-peer platforms powered by Bitcoin help artists?
Yeah, I mean it's just a really sad situation to see, the music industry go through, seeing Diddy like that because yeah, it's just really sad because obviously there's a lot of victims involved as well, right? It's not just, the predators. There's also people who were vulnerable, who have a gift and a talent, and trusting that, someone or some organization or some company or some label can protect you and elevate you with all your dreams and stuff like that. So it's hard, and things have changed a lot. Even like for instance, the way I make music now even changed to how I
Yeah.
made it when I was 16. Um, I'm old, so so I mean, for instance, like I would have to go to my friend's house to do something to make it. But now I can literally just do it on my phone. Like, quality obviously not the same, but like that's where we're at now.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of, that atmosphere that we have now, that we can kind of have a bit more ownership of the creative
Hmm.
process rather than the gatekeepers of the past, and people were always fighting about their royalties and their masters and things like
Yeah.
that. That's the kind of stories you used to hear about, about artists, about, they want to perform, but then there's the industry as well, and it's just torn between the two. So yeah, my hope is that this kind of new platform that we're in, this peer-to-peer kind of platform, is where you can engage with people and create your network and create your community or join one or whatever the case may be, and that can kind of give you some empower you and some ownership.
Yeah.
I'm not making
Most
10 minutes,
definitely.
never.
Would you ever consider signing with a label?
Um, no, not anymore. I think, like I said, just like the liberation of stuff and seeing people who I was very inspired by not have a label. And so Chance the Rapper is quite recently, not been signed. Obviously
Oh, I
Jay-Z at
didn't
the
know that.
time. Yeah, Jay-Z at the time, hearing, his story about how he would want to be kind of put on. There's an artist in the UK called Jamie and Skepta. They started their own label called Boy Better Know. Really heavily influenced me when I was younger as well. So that kind of liberty, because you usually there's a cost, right? Because it's really
Hmm.
you're really lonely. Like I expect you to do XYZ or 3 albums or whatever the case may be, and then you get an advance, and then that kind of work out. So I don't know, unless it doesn't really suit me right now. So for me personally, I like this liberty to kind of, go where I want to go with music.
Do you produce your own beats as well?
Um, Very minimally. I'm just learning, more of a lyricist.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I just over time, it's just something I've been interested in. And also the tools have got a lot more easier to kind of create loops and some patterns and stuff like that. So usually, if it's a case, I might have an idea of something, like I might fit the tempo, and then I can give it to somebody else. So for instance, Real Richard, really great guy, and who've done a few tracks with. He, I might have an idea, and I might just make it in particular tempo. He said, all right, do it 140 BPM. So I rap over it. It's like a really, really skeleton beat, and then you can put it over a really great beat. So that's what we've done in the past as well. So minimally, there's some really great producers out there who I love working with.
Very nice. How did you first discover Bitcoin?
My younger brother, so I have two brothers, older brother, younger brother. Shout out to him. Yeah, one day he just came in my room and was just like, and showed me on my laptop, probably just doing some nonsense. And it was just like, you just kind of just like took over and just like opened up Binance, and then you opened up Exodus wallet as a type of wallet. You can hold multiple ones in there. He said, all right, download this, and then these are the top kind of cryptos you should buy. And he said Bitcoin, Ethereum, and get some of them. And then just kind of walked out. And that was literally like my introduction to it through him. So yeah, that's kind of how it went. That's how it started. So yeah.
Okay, so sorry, it's dry in here. This is the surprise question.
Okay.
Describe the dance and music scene in Tanzania.
Um, it's lively. We have different areas where we're from, and usually we have different music and songs from the different areas as well. So the particular location I'm from is Kilimanjaro, and we're
Hmm.
known for having a specific kind of dance that we do, especially at weddings and stuff and stuff. We kind of hold hands and kind of sway with each other. But yeah, it's fun, it's expressive. We like to celebrate each other and and welcome each other, and it's a very just peaceful country of what I've experienced. So yeah, it's lively, man. It's fun. A lot of concerts and a lot of different things you can get up to here. So yeah, definitely a fun atmosphere.
Can you walk us through your songwriting process?
Yeah, it varies. So depending if I have an idea in mind or a topic, let's go through Bitcoin data. So um, that particular song, like I was just, at that time when I was on Twitter, meeting Marcel and Brendan and Master Guantai, I was just so inspired by them,
Yeah.
and just hearing them in different spaces and stuff. So then that you already kind of got a profile of someone. So just subconsciously, right? Of just, oh, they do this and they do that. And then, lo and behold, Bronson, he was part of Gorilla Sats in Uganda. He's like, oh, Don, I make beats. And I was like, okay, cool. Just share some with me, man, and we'll do it. So that it's just like, I just got a dump of beats and I just scrolled through them. And then that's when you hear that, da, 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 da. You're like, what is that? Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And then just the words come out like where my Bitcoin data is at. Well, like, and then like even just the ownership of something, like she's got her own keys. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just started like forming, and that's stuff that I learned from her, Marcel, right? It's not like or seen from what they do or what she's promoting. So I'd say just I'm just being inspired by that, and then that song it was written in like 15 minutes. Like it can happen like that, and I really enjoy those moments where it's just a case of like I'm inspired by something or someone, and
Yeah.
then when the song comes, and then the words just kind of it's like the words were already there. I just dusted them off, and they just came out. So it can happen like that. And usually, what looks like outside looking in is me with headphones in, just pacing up and down, bobbing around. So my wife can see it, she'll be like, "What's he doing?" Like, yeah, that's kind of like it. I'm just there, like, yeah, that's what it looks like outside looking in, but inside it all makes sense. So, yeah.
Okay, so which song in your catalog is your favorite?
That's a tough question. I think I have to say DCA to BTC, um, because it was the first Bitcoin song that I made or about Bitcoin. And really when I made that decision that, I want to be Bitcoin only, and all those kind of convictions that I had about, all right, I want to go all in and I want to explore this. And just even the concept of dollar cost averaging, because, earlier on it was, Bitcoin was like, I didn't know it was divisible. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I thought you missed the boat. Like, those kind of things, like, and a lot of people still do. Some people don't know it's divisible and you can buy just a dollar's worth.
Most people.
Yeah. So just even that, like, you're hearing that concept of DCA to BTC, and it's like, I can do that. Like, I can be part of that. I can join the revolution like that. So that song means a lot. And it was really well received. Shout out to New Creations, Phil. Like, yeah. Fail,
I get to
100,000
keep a
sats just
100,000 sats. Thank you.
just gone. Just gone. Just gone. But yeah, like that song, like again, it's pretty vulnerable. Like, like I'd never really done something like that, or I wasn't really known in the space. Like, and I was super frustrated that I wasn't technical. I mean, even Master Glantz, I remember him saying on your thing, like, I don't have a
Yeah.
technical background, and that was really
Yeah.
frustrating because I felt that was the only way I could help my country. Like, I thought it was the only
Yeah.
way that I could make a difference in Tanzania if I could get some devs to help our situation. Lo and behold, it's like, oh, there's a music community. You can make some songs about it, and you can educate people that way, which is where I am today. I guess that's why we're talking today. So, you can again, like I think we briefly spoke about this prior, but you can talk yourself out of things
Yeah.
very easily. But yeah, that
Yeah.
song definitely just it just went. I heard the beat, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And then just kind of coming up with that catchphrase was cool. So yeah, DC to
Yeah.
BTC, hands down.
It's Bitcoin Data is such a powerful song. It,
Mm,
because for women specifically, I'm not one to harp on gender differences and stuff like that. For me, you have to know what you are about as an individual and you have to pursue it. And with that being said, with the number of people, women that I've spoken to about Bitcoin, this idea that they can't access it because it's too complex, because like you were saying, it's not divisible, etc. The lyrics of Bitcoin Data, the beat is so catchy, it's so friendly, and like it draws you in. And then the lyrics, you know, she has her own keys, the sense of agency, like that is deep. When my daughter listens to that and she starts going crazy, I'm like, thank you, God. Like that is sinking into her subconscious.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
powerful. Music is so powerful.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even like 2 minutes long, that song, I think. Like, it's like two verses, and everybody just remembers those things and those lines. And I remember you
Yeah.
and her in the spaces, like you and her talking, and being the only women in the group sometimes, and being that, you know what I'm saying, like in those kind of things. Even when I remember when you joined NOSTR, and then y'all did Babe Chain, like I remember even that, like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
A Martel Fox, I think, started that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just being super conscious of your community, and what's it about, and of course I'm married as well, and have I'm very conscious of my wife, and what we go forward as a family, as a business. Like,
Yeah.
family is a business, so her
Hmm.
having empowering her is very important to me as well. And I have a daughter as well. I'm a girl dad now too as well, so that changed the game for me as well. So yeah, really inspired by what they did, going went against the grain, and I'm just happy it came out very organically. It didn't seem I'm selling you something. I literally watched what you guys did, and that's how I interpret it in a song. Yeah.
Documentation. I also love relay riders.
Oh,
It's very, it reminds me of like maybe the West Coast a bit because it kind of like drifts. I'm not going to sing because you don't want to hear me sing, but
I couldn't sing it either. So again, Joe Martin is the one who's singing at the background vocals, and
oh, okay, yeah.
yeah, and I had to sing the bit. If you hear my version, yeah, it's pretty awful. But I was like, Joe, please, like, if you can do this. But I mean, again, it's like we've over a period of time we've become fans of one another, and
Yeah.
and like you can see each other's proof of work, right? I know what you're about, you know what I'm about, and then that, like, it wasn't even a thing. It was like, yeah, sure, I've got you, and I'm going to the studio tonight. Literally, by the time I woke up, I had like all these different
Wow.
harmonies and stuff like that, and I was just like, who is this guy? It's amazing. So yeah, it's cool. So I love that, and again, like, I like to try and create these different like terms. So like relay rider, like,
Yeah.
ran relays and Noster and other stuff. Like, so I like that as well. So that's what I love about the
Yeah.
song. Yeah.
And the repetition of we gonna make it, we gonna
Yeah.
make it. Like that. When I work out, it just feels so good. It's like, I mean, we're speaking for the first time,
Yeah.
face to face.
Right.
But it's like I feel as though someone in the world has my back because he's
Yeah.
producing this music that speaks
Mm.
to
Yeah.
what my mind is about. So thank you.
Very touched. Thank you.
Okay, so we still have to answer some questions.
Sure, sure.
What
Of course.
what does your wife think about Bitcoin?
She's a believer now.
Ah.
She's a believer now. And I mean, we've been through some seasons, like, we went through Epoch and stuff like that. So I'll be very honest, like, at the beginning, like, I would like literally just be watching different like YouTube videos for like hours on end. Like, it was like just really researching like what this thing is before I introduce it to my family. Like, before I introduce it, I'd have to really know for
Yeah.
myself. And so she saw that side of me. So then also she's seen that I've taken this very seriously. Like, I'm investigating this. And then obviously, joining the community. Like, I wasn't really on X prior to that, or Twitter. When it was Twitter back, Bitcoin Twitter was where people were hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was that's like if you couldn't talk to anybody at work about it, like, back then when I was on it, which was, what was that, 2022, 2023, like early on, like that's when it was like a Narnia, right? You go into Bitcoin Twitter, you just get fed so much stuff.
Yeah.
And you have Peter McCormack just going off like what Bitcoin did, and then Robert Breedlove, and then Saylor starting to buy more, and then like, do you know what I'm saying? Like it was just start building and then building that up. So she witnessed that, and then obviously now I'm starting making music about it too, and my frustration about what's going on around us, and even us as a couple, a married couple. Yeah, how are we saving? Like, what options
Yeah.
do we have? And trying to buy a house or whatever. Any all those things as a married couple you grow with. So now, like, it's definitely and now it's definitely changed because we've seen it go through some changes, and it's helped us as a family. Like, I'm all about stacking, but like I spend when I need to, and
Yeah.
I mean, because people spend on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be really hypocritical of me if I don't reciprocate, or if I'm not part of that community, the giving community. Like how can you just like I thrive on that. My music wouldn't be where it was if people didn't do the value for value. So yeah,
Hmm.
she's a believer. She's really the one who helped makes it a lot easier, and she doesn't even question it anymore. She's like, all right, how much you putting in this month? I'm like, all right, safe. Like she's like on it, really really on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
I
great and it's
think it
fun.
takes, yeah. Say that again. She's making a
It's fun.
film?
No, it's fun. I said it's fun because like I'm not
Ah.
like trying to sell her something. Like it was tried and tested as a family. It's not week one. It's like we've been in it for a few years now, so it's like she can actually
Yep.
see tangibly, over a period of time, how it goes. Yeah,
What it means exactly.
yeah, yeah,
And back to what you were saying about DCA, you
yeah,
realize that it's not just about buying when it's very low and then it gets higher. Like you have to be consistent, and you don't have to be. It's not
yeah,
financial advice. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but if
yeah.
you DCA, you'll understand with time. Okay, so
100%.
next question. What is Noster?
NOSTR is notes and other stuff transmitted over relays. That's why we ride on them. Nostr is an amazing space, and I've really enjoyed it. And I was just super. I was ready. Like I was really ready to for something else. And when I heard about it first, it sounded very very weird and didn't make sense to me. And I was very used to Twitter.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's become like there's some people who you talk to, like you talk to when it first started off, like it was still there, and it's really become like a real family kind of atmosphere for me. The people I engage with on a daily basis, so I use it a lot, and I've started to migrate. I think you sent me a DM on X, and I was like, the first one I was like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. Like I don't really go on it as much, but yeah, it's a great space, and people are building great things on there. So shout out to the
Yeah.
devs. That's why they get shout out on Relay Riders. Like shout out to the devs, man.
Yeah.
They're really amazing. Yeah.
So which came first for you, music or Bitcoin?
Music. Yeah. My music career started way before Bitcoin was even invented, so I'm happy to announce that.
What are
But
you talking about? You were born
yeah,
in
yeah. So
2000 and
yeah. So yeah, in the 90s, music just yeah, like I said, grew up on MTV, grew up on those kind of that kind of era of music and pop and yeah, rap and just yeah, definitely 90s hip hop was very, very influential to me. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so you're working with a dance event coming up soon.
Hmm.
There's two components to this question.
Okay.
So, one, can you explain how the dancers will actually get zapped when they dance? And then for the people who will watch this and they don't know what a zap is, can you explain that as well?
Sure. So right now, we are streaming this on a place called Zapstream. And we are in a space where those who have the capacity to send, Bitcoin to you as for us creating content and creating value. So we're literally the idea is, and it's, again, it's something, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. Like I'm seeing what other Bitcoiners and NOSTR are doing. So there is a great guy called Open Mike, who again, just known from the music scene of NOSTR. He's created Toonster, which is affiliated with Zapstream, and that is an amazing space where musicians go do their live shows. But what he does is he films it and then streams it, and then, but he streams it on this Nostr app, Toonster, and that way you and I could watch it and enjoy it in real time, and then also zap at the same time. So zap, sorry, send Bitcoin, send little bits of Bitcoin. Could be one sat. I've seen people drop 1 million sats. Like it's really up to the person, and that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it. So seeing that concept, and again, I'm part of the international school community here in Tanzania, and just have really amazing colleagues, like who just from different backgrounds. Some are singers, and then this particular person is a dancer, and he's just really frustrated about the dance scene in Tanzania. Like he was telling me that they you know, you might be a dancer and you might ask to go to a particular place to do and perform, but then, you know, either you don't get paid, or they pay you very little, or whatever the case may be, and or you're a group and they pay you like it's just a ridiculous amount, and it's just like how can we support this particular community? And that's
Yeah.
where I felt that we could step in and be like, okay, what if they do what they do, but we film it and then put it on this particular place that they can potentially, you know, earn some Bitcoin. So the way the concept works is that as a particular dancer is on, it's like time stamped, and then whatever is zapped at that time, or whatever Bitcoin is sent at
Oh,
that
okay,
time,
cool.
would you know, we would understand which dancer was receiving it. So it's actually
Yeah.
like a dance battle. So they have some people, like some solos, they have some dance offs. It's really exciting. So this is due to air on October 3rd, is the auditions that we're going to air. It's pre-recorded. We've actually done it already. So again, we're testing and trying it out. And then there's
Yeah.
the main event, which is going to be end of October, but we'll probably air later on in November. So again, we're here just trying things out, and it's a great opportunity for me to meet them and share what Bitcoin is if they're interested, and obviously share the stats with them as well, which is my hope, which is great. And if they want to convert it to TZS, Tanzania outside currency here, so be it. But just want to give them a platform, and I think
Yeah.
this is an option to do so. So that's the concept, and like I said, couldn't do it without these amazing devs who are doing what they're doing. And like I said, I've
Yeah.
seen other artists perform, and I've been in the chats, I've been watching people perform and sending Bitcoin to them, and it just feels so liberating that you can do that. So why not?
Yeah. Value across time and space. And
Yeah.
I think, like, going back to what you were saying earlier about artists, recording
Mm,
artists with their
mm,
contracts and getting an advance and maybe not getting paid properly, I feel as though Bitcoin, yes, Nostr, Zapstream, Toonster, these are different applications that creatives should definitely explore. Like, you know, we're testing this this evening, even though a podcast is not creative. I'm not trying to like put myself anywhere.
I think it is.
Mm,
I think it is
mm.
because I mean, listen,
But it's not
you
like music or dancing. I'm not inspiring people or moving people the way you
oh,
do with your music.
but okay, but you came up with 21 questions. Yeah, that took some
Actually,
creativity to do that.
technically 50 Cent came up with 21 questions. I'm joking, I'm joking.
Yeah, you came up with 21 questions to ask me specifically. And
Hmm.
then on top of that, you're showing people a different side to me that they haven't seen before. Like I'm not rapping, I'm not doing it's not like I'm very spontaneous now. I don't do this very frequently. So yeah, so again, you've shown an audience who might be interested in me or know of me like a different side of me, and ask me questions that they might have asked as well, or wanted to know about as well. So no, that's I mean you're interviewing. I mean Oprah does that and she gets paid a lot. So you know, so I think you and especially the people who interviewed, you can tell you're interested in their journey, their story, which is great. I feel comfortable to share with you because I feel you're genuinely interested about, my journey and my story, which is great. And I've gotten an opportunity to share it. So please, you're part of the creative crew. We're adopting you into the creative crew.
Actually, you know what? If any of the dancers, I don't know how things will pan out, but
Yeah.
if any of the dancers wants to come on to answer 21 questions, or if you guys as a group want to come on,
Wow.
maybe there could be like a group sort of thing where it's
Mm.
streamed as well.
So cool. And like I said, like I mean, I don't think we're ready for what's gonna happen, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but I just want it to be done, and then we just see how it goes from there. So just to add on, I was speaking to my colleague who's kind of coordinating the event, and he just has a real passion for dance, and in this particular community of Tanzania. He's like, we're not represented in the dance community. Don't People don't think of Arusha, where I stay, as there's a dance crew there. So he wants to just create a bit of competition and kind of start recruiting dancers and being like, hey, can we create something, a brand and grow and stuff like that. So it's like it's really inspiring hearing his story and why he wants to do it and his why. And yeah, that would be great. If that works out, please just tune in and watch it and then just how you feel inspired. Like yeah, it'd be great. That'd be really, really great.
Yeah. Okay. So, oh, well, this is fitting. What advice would you give to new artists coming up?
Yeah. Repetition, repetition, repetition. I think um fear or talking yourself out of something is the same muscle you use to talk yourself into something. I
Mm.
think if you just exercise it, and yeah, it's a seed to begin with. Like, you know, like for instance, like we talked about the song making process. Like if you can hear an instrumental and then hear words on there, like it doesn't just happen. Like you have to exercise it. You have to do it.
Yeah.
So your first podcast and your 100th podcast, there's gonna be some, you're gonna the growing pains you're gonna see them, but
Oh,
it's
yes.
gonna bear fruit. It's gonna bear fruit. Like if you listen to
Yeah.
one of my first songs, like even the confidence I have when I'm rapping is different. Like, do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
now, just and now my identity of in myself and stuff, like all those different little things, like you have to just have to build on that. So I would encourage you or that person to carry on, and if you have to do it in a closed space to begin with, then so be it. But just keep going, and you'll surprise yourself. Like little and often, just compounds, really compounds.
Yeah, that's good advice. I had another podcast, was very brief, when I was a diversity and inclusion consultant. It was called Foster Inclusion, and the point was to get the discussion going. And I thought, I should really open this beyond, my closed little bubble. And so I decided to launch the podcast. It was voice only.
Right.
I drove my car far away, made sure that no one was around, and I used my phone and like an adapter microphone, and I was like this, like in my car recording, because I thought people would look at me. I thought, I can't, I don't want anyone to hear me, even though I'm recording a podcast. I was so scared. It was just, and like my hands were shaking, they were sweaty. It was so scary.
Yeah. Imagination is real, right? And it can take you on, the way the fear side, or it can give you that confidence. And like I said, things that I've seen, like there was a lot of people making Bitcoin related music before me. Like I'm not the pioneer of it, and it's just like I've seen it, and I've been rubbed shoulders with you, and it's given me some confidence. Or someone, like Marcel, like really going against the grain and really
Hmm.
targeting women and
Yeah.
Bitcoin only, and it's just so many barriers, and it's just witnessing someone do that. It's inspiring, and you're like, okay, well, what about me? Like, what
Yeah.
is what is the thing that I feel restless about? I think that's usually the clue, right? Whatever makes you feel a little bit restless or frustrated about, oh, I feel I can contribute there, or I feel I can do something there. So Yeah,
Hmm.
100%. Great story to share because people need to hear that sometimes that like we were scared. It was scary. It
Scared.
wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
I mean, so if I could continue to be transparent,
Mm,
so this is my first time seeing and speaking to you.
right.
I love your music and I do feel intimidated, but intimidated out of respect. You know,
Mm,
I feel it. It's like when I met as well Kodatsu from Machinkura. I'm
mm.
dreaming of asking him 21 questions, but I haven't thought of the questions yet. So if
Oh
he
man,
sees this, if you're watching Kodatsu, I have you in mind.
man.
He is one of the smartest men I've met in my life. I met him last October in Lugano for the
Mm,
Bitcoin conference. And we had lunch together, and he was like, yeah, you know, I'm doing my presentation. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do it on. And then he did his presentation, and I was like, if he wasn't sure and he put that together in like 10 minutes, the man's a genius. Or maybe he was bullshitting me and he knew all along. But I figured out after the fact, I was on the train going home and he did a bunch of ink blots for his presentation. It was only visual and he spoke over the ink blots, which are also called Rorschachs.
Okay.
And there's a place in Switzerland called Rorschach. And the presentation was in Switzerland. And I was like, I'm sure Swiss people in the audience didn't even see what he just did. And I was, because I saw the presentation, I was blown away. I was like, but he was saying he didn't know. I'm on the train going home and I'm like, he just did that. He really did that.
Guys are so sick. That guy is yeah, he's special, man. Like and I met him at the Bitcoin data what they call it. They have the graduations and
Hmm.
yeah, he's just so captivating, really captivating and really approachable and just
Yeah,
really
yeah.
humble and just like I remember again when Machinkura was coming out, and I'd search on all the countries, and Tanzania wasn't there, and I just DM'd him. Well, like, what did we do to you? And he was like, no, no, it's not that, it's this, and like that, and that's really how our
Hmm.
relationship started. And I was like, look, man, whatever you need on this side, just I'm not technical, but just I got the phone, like I'll do it, I'll whatever the case may be, and just really great guy, really great guy. So yeah, I can't wait for that one too. That
Yeah.
he won't last 10 minutes. 21 questions at all, 100%.
He will not last 10 minutes, like he'll
No,
go
no, no,
over
no,
or
no, no. He's gonna go over.
oh
He's
yeah,
gonna
okay, okay.
book it, book it.
If you have any questions that you think would be good, feel free to pass them along so that
Tanzania when? That's all I'm saying. When you come, Man Like Kweks said when you come in TZ, and let's fix match and go right here. But the WhatsApp version is amazing. I don't know if you've experienced that.
no, I haven't.
He made a WhatsApp version. So of the app. So for those who don't know, it's a Bitcoin wallet that you can use the Torch, the Nokia dummy phones without the screen. Like you do the star, the text SMS menu, and now he made one for WhatsApp. So I'm chatting to a WhatsApp bot that has my wallet on it. It's amazing, and it works. Like it just
And it
works.
works.
Yeah, amazing.
Like the equivalent of pennies, like 10 cents you can send.
It's nuts, man. It's nuts. It's amazing. So I'm glad he's in my phone book and I can call him in. Yeah.
Okay. Who are your biggest musical inspirations?
So yeah, I think I touched on it. Nas, under 2000. And yeah, I mean I've always I grew up on a lot of different like even like Motown I used to like just really enjoy.
Yeah.
Just that those you just can't make songs like that anymore. Like
Hmm.
you just like as much as you want, like they just captured so much. Like I remember watching the movie Ray, with Jamie Foxx, and then
Hmm.
like just exploring more about Ray Charles as well, and just his process and his journey um as well. So yeah, and definitely grew up on a lot of Kanye West as well when I was younger. Obviously things have changed a little bit in his direction and stuff, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but
To say the least, yeah.
very least. But honestly, and like I said, like he was a breath of fresh air at that time for me, being like 16 when I was listening to it, because a lot of the rap music had trended towards like gangster rap, and it's just like I can't relate to that. Like then
Hmm.
there was like Common and Talib Kweli and Most Def, and
Black
but
Star, yeah.
but someone who kind of the backpack rapper who kind of went more commercial and just kind of really just went head on, like
Yeah.
that kind of motivation and that kind of you can relate, you can respect and relate to that kind of someone being that motivated and that kind of self-belief to kind of go ahead and do something. So yeah, that definitely influenced me back when I was like 16 and stuff. So yeah, those artists and those kind of that kind of era, that Motown era, definitely I really enjoy that.
Yeah. I saw Mos Def a few years ago here in Geneva. He
Oh,
performed.
great.
So the sweet thing about Switzerland, when I moved here, I was very ignorant. I'll just say ignorant is what I was
Okay.
because I just assumed that it was yodeling and Heidi and no
Okay.
culture. I'd have to go to like London or Paris or just somewhere else to get culture and music.
Mhm.
To my delight, a lot of these artists, they come through and they will perform in like really small venues where you can touch them because Swiss people are so cool in general. People aren't violent, they don't bother you and stuff. So I've seen so many concerts here and I've been able to like meet the artist, say hello. I'm a big fan. Switzerland is amazing for that. So Mos
Okay.
Def came to a place called L'Usine. I think it's called the Zoo now. And he was on like this little stage
Great.
and there were, I don't know, maybe 200, maybe a bit more of us in the audience, and he just performed. He did his thing, he tested out his material, and it was cool. It was like anyone else performing on stage who had some sort of art to share with everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, and I love when you get a different version of someone. Like they're not just like replaying the CD to you. Like you can kind of see a
Hmm.
little little difference to them and a little bit more depth.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Then you really feel like you got something else. Like you got something out of it, which is really cool. So
Oh,
yeah, that's
definitely. I
yeah.
saw Kendrick Lamar, was it last year or the year before?
Oh, great.
And
Oh,
I'm going to see Nas in, is it
yeah.
October or November?
Where in Switzerland?
Yeah, in Switzerland.
I guess it's gonna just go there for shows now. What's the visas like over there? We'll figure that out.
Uh, you know
Correct.
what? I don't know. There needs to be, yeah. I don't know. It's such a fascinating country because all of these event promoters and stuff, they're so well connected and they're connected with different brands. Like they find synergies. So I would have expected that they would have incorporated Bitcoin in some capacity, but maybe it's just not visible to the public for different reasons. And on the other hand, you've got banks here in different cantons or like provinces that offer Bitcoin services. You've got so many exchanges. It's just weird. Like I'm waiting for the sort of the link to happen so that, yeah, artists can come. I think I've lost my train of thought and I think your screen is frozen as well. So, uh, frozen. I'm going to NOSTR to see if anyone has noticed it too.
Right.
Ah, there
Okay.
you
Are you
are.
back? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You were saying about Switzerland, the brands and the incorporating Bitcoin is not very visible.
Yeah, exactly. But I think where I was going with that is to say, like, if there was some sort of Bitcoin themed conference, you as a
Mm.
musician would be able to come. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
paperwork would be a little bit easier to
Gotcha.
process.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll move on to the next question.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the best client or app for musical artists?
Bitcoin musical artists or just musical artists in general?
In general, the best.
Okay.
So I'm a new artist and I'm interested in value for value. What would you
Okay.
recommend to me?
Oh, 100%. Okay. So, Um, Wave Lake is a place that I'm very grateful for, like kind of just with my journey on, because I've seen them in a different state that they are now, and the growth of that particular
Mm-hmm.
company, and how they've really just involved as much as best as possible the genres and different people and experiences and whatnot as best as possible. So yeah, I would, and it's very easy to upload. Just you have an MP3, and then cover art. I use Canva. I just use Canva, sometimes, and just see something that kind of represents the theme that I'm doing, or whatever the case may be, if it works. Messing around with AI sometimes, actually. So sometimes I make some AI kind of images as well. Yeah, and then just upload and share, and that way, you can have the capacity or the ability to earn Bitcoin through there. People share stats, and not only that, which is very different to the Spotify's and other things. Like
Mm-hmm.
someone can comment on your track, so someone can comment on your track, and even just emojis or gifs or whatever they want you to do, and then, or you can even zap that comment, and it's like it's so interactive, which is a
Yeah.
different experience that you have, on the Spotify. It's like I don't know who listened to my songs on Spotify. Like you can have some sort of like, even like maybe sometimes geographically it says, okay, someone listened to you here in the UK and whatnot. But like I'm engaging with people, and it's not only that, it's spilling. Like they're a NOSTR client as well now, so now it spills onto NOSTR. So when I reply, it will show up on
Yeah.
NOSTR. Like it's so interactive now, and it wasn't like that before, which is really exciting. So that's what I love about it so much, and that's what I love about Nostr so much, because it really made Bitcoin social. Like it made it just made me engage, and then zap someone on top of it. So I would pick Wave Lake as a place, to starting off place, and then work on building a community, or finding one, or to share your music with.
Yep.
A smile for the question.
Man like who?
Man Like Kweks. That was an
Man
easy
like
one.
Kweks.
And shout out to my nephews, who gave me that name, actually. So shout out to Markeep. He's the one who gave me that name. So big shout out to
And
him.
so what does the name mean?
So my last name is Kweka. So again, it was just like, I don't know where it came. He just called me Kweks. It's like he just started calling me that, and then he would show up sort of there, goes, "Hey, man, like Quakes," and I'm like, I don't even know what it really means, but it's just like it just sounded cool, and it's just like just there's only like you're like you're one of one. Just no man like Quakes, man like who's man like Quakes, and I was like, bro, I'm taking that. I'm bringing it to the bank, and anytime anybody asks, like I always mention you. So shout out to Markeep to give me the name. Shout out to E1, Ibra, Malik, Renee, and Adriel, man, yeah, hold tight. Alex and Rema, almost forgot you. But yeah, they're my nephews.
What does SPC V1 stand for?
Oh, great question. So that's the title of the album. SPC stands for straight plebchain. And
Ah, nice.
yeah, and the person who came up with that term is QW, Quiet Warrior, who I met on Noster. And similarly, like, with regards to your journey, like they make plebchain radio. I don't know if you listened to plebchain radio before.
I've never
Yeah.
listened to it.
Him and Avi are cooking, man. They bring on guests, and I've been on
Oh,
once,
nice.
twice. I've been on twice, but somehow the audio got lost, so I came on again. But please, yeah, check out Plebchain Radio. They do great work, and his catchphrase was straight plebchain, and he is the godfather of Zapathon. If you ever experienced Zapathon, he is the godfather of Zapathon. So
I feel
full
like
tag.
zapathons happen when I'm sleeping. I wake up in the morning and I see, oh, that was fire. Oh, I got this. Oh, I got that. And I'm like,
Yep. They're not as hot as they used to be. Like they kind of happen, intermittently, but yeah, definitely based on the Eastern time zone. I think it's like 5 p.m. Eastern time
yeah.
zone, Thursday, Fridays. But yeah, they were fun, man. Really enjoyed that.
I
Shout out
can't
to
be
Future
part
B.
of everything.
Oh yeah, then V1 is like volume one, so straight plebchain volume one.
Volume 1.
Volume one.
Straight plebchain volume 1.
Yeah.
How has Bitcoin influenced your music?
Yeah, I again I'm just on a discovery, just discovering what Bitcoin is. Again, my journey was, with the podcasts, Peter McCormack, what Bitcoin did, and just seeing, the enthusiasm, like Jack Mallers just being super enthusiastic
Yeah.
about it, seeing Jack, Dorsey being super enthusiastic about it, it's just, you know, I guess I always felt that I wanted to contribute to it because of what I felt it did for me. Like I
Yep.
want to contribute to the space somehow. And again, my early frustration was um that I'm not a dev. So, and to be a dev, like I'll still be studying now. Like,
Yeah. For
so I was
real.
like,
Yep.
what can I do? I was like, well, I heard a beat or I heard a song and I just like, okay, I think I can, what I've learned, I can rap about. And it also helps me, learn it more and, explore different things. So the songs have kind of touched on different things, but they're even different companies or different projects like Bitcoin Data or Gorilla Sats or Tokyo Citadel. And like, I'm talking to people in Tokyo, like I don't know, talk to people in Tokyo and then doing a song for them. And then lo and behold, Real Richard hears the song and it's like, hey, like, can I have your vocals? I was like, yeah, sure. And then he remixes it and makes Tokyo Citadel remix. And I've never seen a song move like that in my life, like ever. Like what he made of the video for that, and then the reactions of people, you're like, you contributed. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, oh, everything I was hoping for, like, came in a different way and in a better way and
Yeah.
a more genuine way. Like, I'm not
Hmm.
being something that I'm not. It's like, it's an extension of me. Like, I'm communicating to a community that I wanted to contribute to. So yeah, it's just my way of saying thank you to Satoshi or the whole group of people who made the podcasts, who asked the
Yeah.
questions, asked the dumb questions,
Yeah.
who shared the real challenges, like all that community, all the plebs, they want to give themselves that title, but that whole community,
Yeah.
like it's my thank you to say, hey guys, I've learned from you guys being vulnerable on Twitter or whatever the case you've done. Like this is me, you know, even hearing some phrase you said, for instance, like TikTok next block. I didn't know that came from Brady, but it came from him from Swan. I was like, okay. And then he loved the song. He's like, oh, like I never knew it could be in a song. Like it never be a lyric.
Yeah.
Like like all those little intertwining things. It's really, really cool. So yeah,
Yep.
that's how Bitcoin influenced my music because I'm just inspired by it. I'm inspired by the space. So yeah. So I'm keeping
Yep.
it going until I'm not.
And all the information was free. Like that's what
Oh
blew my
yeah.
mind.
Yeah, people were just
Blew
like
my
spending
mind.
time, like just asking questions and going through different theories and sharing about the Fed and history and just it's been great. Like thank you to
Yep.
the whole community for doing that.
Most definitely.
Mhm.
How many questions? Oh, this is the third last question.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, okay. So, how can an artist integrate Bitcoin into their business management?
I think just just hold it so we just like because like a lifestyle hack, man. Like I think you used that phrase before. Like I was just like it's just part of the lifestyle and
Yep.
then you just literally start. The lyric that I have in Epoch 5 is like, my life was square, but now it's measured in blocks. Like you shift, right? You start to shift your perspective and your time preference and all the different things to acquiring or and
Yep.
for a purpose, right? So I don't know. I would just say just holding some,
Mm-hmm.
it will just shift you because who knows down the line it might be something that could help you promote that project or if you use something like a geyser fund to
Yeah.
say, yeah, I'm trying to do XYZ, as a possibility. And that's kind of how I started with stuff. Even climbing Kilimanjaro was via Geyser Fund. It was raised via people sharing Bitcoin to help a project, which is the Proof of Work Academy project, which I work on here, which is educating people on Bitcoin. So yeah, I would say just holding some and working with it, and that's kind of been my mission right now. Whatever I've done has been a case study, and I'm trying and testing things out. So I'm not selling you something that I'm not doing. And so that's really the motivation to kind of give people different case studies of stuff. And I can make a song, you can dance, or make a podcast, or whatever the things you can do. That's
Play
really
it to my
exciting.
daughter
Yeah.
and to her friends when they come over.
Yeah, dude, Bitcoin data files.
That's the other thing too, because I've never been into gangster rap at all. It doesn't resonate with me. I don't identify, I don't understand. I can appreciate the storytelling, but Good Kid, Mad City, Kendrick Lamar. It's not gangster rap, but I love that album because I love the way Kendrick tells stories in that album. That said, my husband, he also likes hip hop.
Right.
And now that we have a daughter, there's so many things we can't listen to. And it's and sometimes, because my husband is French speaking, it's his first language, he speaks English, but there's some words that slip by that he doesn't catch. And so he'll put something on and I'll be like, no. Your music we can put on. It's all good, it's I don't have to be. So the other day I put on a song and my husband right away was like, should we be playing that? I'm like, no, it's good. Listen, don't worry. Like the lyrics are very positive.
Yeah. It's the family and what gets played in the car. It's my daughter's on that repeat phase. Like she hears a song and she's like, yo, repeat that. I'll play that again, daddy. Like, or blah, blah, like just play that again. So I'm also very conscious about that. That's something that I'm thinking about, the context, the lyrics, of what I choose and say. Yeah, so I'm conscious about that too. And I'm grateful that it is, wholesome, that other people can listen to it and not, mute it when they do stuff as well. That works for them, that works for them. So
Yep. What's the plebchain?
man, I got introduced to the plebchain and I didn't know what it was really either until you just get part of it. So on NOSTR now, I use the client Damus, and then when you do the hashtag plebchain, like there's like a hug emoji that comes after it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess from my experience of it, it's just the plebs, what they call themselves, Bitcoiners who just kind of stay humble and stack sats, it's just the group. I guess it's just part of the group, and for QW to call, some of the things I've done straight plebchain, I'm like, all right, I guess it represents, the community, or that particular, from your point of view, versus the community. So yeah, so shout out to the plebchain. I hope I'm a part of you as much as you're a part of me. So yeah, big up to the plebchain.
And the very last question. Oh, this one could be a bit, we'll see. Okay. How does an artist reconcile open source principles with intellectual property rights? Not a very fun one to end on, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's cool. It was all randomized, but yeah, with the music industry's gone through so many different ways. Especially those who remember Napster, with the internet, and then iTunes came on pretty hard and kind of gave a new way of listening to stuff. So
yeah.
So now here we are, in a space where literally, you can upload anything and you could probably receive the credit for it too, like all the Bitcoin for it, all the zaps for it, as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, there's a degree of integrity, there's a degree of, morals as well, but right now it's quite free,
Yeah.
And that's an area where, for instance, if you try to upload a particular track onto Spotify, they have like a way they can just they can just comb through the track and check if it's
Yeah.
something else or it's sampled. And
Yep.
do you have the clearance for that and stuff like that? But do our open protocol systems have that yet? No, I don't think so. All that kind of depth right now. So yeah, it's tough, but I'm grateful that it's more independent artist friendly, and you can be on the DSPs, and I usually post on the DSPs just because that's where majority of my friends listen to stuff, so they can hear my stuff.
Yeah.
But I invest a lot of time in building community on NOSTR apps like Wavelake or Fountain as well, and just seeing how they all interact and integrate. And people are interested. Like my nephews are really interested, who actually features on Relay Riders, and the one on No Album.
Oh, okay.
So that's my nephew Renee, just an amazing young artist and exploring his identity as well. I mean, he even has that funny line. He says like, I know I'm swearing, but I'm gonna make it clean. Like, even him, like, exploring his identity as an artist and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. So for them to see that with Wavelake, so basically they have a really great split system. So I can upload the track,
Yeah.
me and you make a track, and then we go 50-50. So whenever we get zapped to 100 sats, I mean, they'll take their 10%, and then the 45 will get split between the two of us. And now it's in a point where before you had to do an invoice and withdraw it, but now it like within the hour, like I get a message on my phone from Blink saying that sats have been deposited, like
Nice.
whatever's accumulated within an hour, and that's just and they're getting it now to them. So now they're on the songs on the splits. So then they're like, oh, I got another message. Like it's in real time. It's happening. So yeah, I'm hoping that the independent artists who are out there and are really just trying to share their art in a way that they can be recognized for, and with original music, and believe in their original music. This will be the place for them, and those are the things will come, obviously with intellectual property rights and stuff. But I'm grateful that we can experiment in this right now. So,
Yeah. It's like a nice little boost to your day. You get a message saying, oh, I've just been... It's like, even on NOSTR, it's weird because I use the Damus app as well on one phone, and on another device I use Amethyst. And because Damus is on my iPhone, it's connected to my Apple Watch. I still say iWatch, Apple Watch. And so from like time to time, I'll get like just this thing saying, you've been zapped 21 sats. It's 21 sats, but it's nice. Like it does something to me.
Yeah, I mean, you either shared something or some sort of content, or someone liked or respected, or whatever the case may be, or it's like it's a whole different experience, and that was what engaged me so much about why I migrated. I was like, this is really, really interesting and really, really different. And then the biggest one was when I saw Derek Ross, who's like the mayor of NOSTR, and
The mayor.
and I think he there was a conference he got asked to speak at, and he was like, listen, I can't afford the plane ticket or whatever the case may be, but if you really want me to be there, then hey, let's do a zap raiser, let's see. And then like I remember I was in bed, and it was like 2 a.m. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, dude, you see 10,000, 100,000, a million. Like I wish that I could find that note, because it just really blew my mind.
Wow.
About where and they're coming from all over the world. And I remember I've done a post once, like when I'm about to speak, like to a school once. I got invited to speak about Bitcoin, and I said on NOSTR, I was like, hey guys, I'm about to speak. It would be cool if you could just drop a flag in the comments and zap this note. And you just had multiple different countries, like just so many, even pirate flags, like just cool. I'm not saying where I'm from, but I'm a join in. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like when you see that this Bitcoin is being, there's no boundaries. So it's like it's borderless. It's moving and circulating freely, which is really, really cool. Because even today, seeing Tanzania there's a dollar shortage. Okay, that's what's in the news, and they're trying to encourage everybody to use TZS. And I mean, yeah, sometimes, and they even printed. Well, they even said we're going to print more TZS. So it's like, no, I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Like, I don't want to hold that. I don't want to hold that. So, yeah.
Yeah. Value across time and space for your work.
That's what's up. This was fun. This was really, really great. I completely crashed and burned in 10 minutes, but got a good
It's
solid
been
hour.
an hour and 14 minutes so far, but we started recording a little bit ahead of time, so.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for answering 21 questions. It was a true pleasure. I'm still a little tiny bit nervous even at the end of the interview, but
You did great.
thank you.
You did great. I felt very comfortable, relaxed. I felt I was myself. I felt you got the real Man Like Kweks here. So thank you for taking the time to ask these really creative questions and really, really good ones. And yeah, keep doing it. Just keep going.
Thank you.
Yeah, excited, and can't wait to get KG on here too. Can't wait to see
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And can you remind everyone where they can find you? So on NOSTR, Wavelake, Fountain, wherever.
Yeah. So again, Man Like Kweks, it's usually probably just all run together. I think even if you just Google it, you can find it. So the handle is at Man Like Kweks on X. Rarely there though. If you're on Nostr, yeah, just type in Man Like Kweks and it should pop up as a anime figure with some purple eyes, just pulsing. Yeah, and Wavelake similarly, just search Man Like Kweks, search Bitcoin Data, search DC to BTC. Those are a few of the songs that I've done as well. So yeah, those are the main places I'm operating. Definitely Nostr and Wavelake.
Very nice. Thank
To
you.
the noobs and the first timers. Shout out to the vets and the relay riders. We gon' make it, yeah, we gon' make it, yeah, we gon' make it, yeah, we gon' make it. Tuck the lemons life gave me, then I made some lemonade. Shared the thoughts over these beats and found my way up out the maze. And every single season I just keep plugging away. And I kept all the receipts, cause consistency pays. I got people trying to take me out, trying to bring me down, but it's pointless, Anakin, because I got the higher ground. I saw Fredo go fish.